So the other day, I made a response video to a clip I saw of Kevin Samuels encouraging men to no longer date women who are overweight. I mean, at this point, I don't know why any man with some sense would listen to Kevin Samuels, and I don't know why any woman is still getting offended by what he says, because he's already established what kind of man he is.
So listen to what you're saying. Men should accept this stuff because women chose to get fat and don't work out. They're not exercising. They're not watching their diet. They're not doing what men want. So men should accept it. And I want you guys to understand it. What she won't say is you better accept this, because if you don't, you ain't got nothing else. Guys, stop having sex with overweight women. Leave them alone. Because as long as somebody will have sex with her, women like her will think that you should just accept this. Do you see non-black men accepting women that are bigger than them, ma'am?
All he cares about is pedo vibes and capitalism, creating more disconnect between men and women. I'm hearing this man telling men to stop dating women who are overweight. So to me, it's like, why are you telling these men to stop dating women that they are actually attracted to? If they wasn't attracted to these women and their weight, they wouldn't be dating them to begin with. The next morning after I posted this video, I woke up to 70 comments inside of my comment section from men who obviously hadn't listened to anything I said in this video, because inside of the analytics of it, I saw that most people stopped listening at minute number 2. So men didn't even get a chance to understand what I was trying to convey. And that explained why a lot of the comments were remedial and weren't germane to the topic of discussion. It's like they didn't even listen to what I was saying. They just came into the comment section to either defend Kevin Samuels or to defend the fact that they want fit women, when in actuality, my issue isn't even their preference. I had to explain to these men that I myself am involved with someone. I'm in an interracial relationship, and I decided to have a discussion with the guy that I'm dating about it, and here's how that conversation went. I made a response video to Kevin Samuels telling men to discontinue dating fat women or having sex with fat women. And I was saying, why is a man telling other men to stop having sex with women that they are attracted to? Because even if a woman is overweight, you gotta be attracted to her to a certain degree in order to have sex with her. And it's men in the comment section saying, no, if she's unattractive, I'm not attracted to her. I'm just going to have sex with her. If she's a fat woman, I'm just going to have sex with her. Well, how do you have sex with someone who you are unattracted to? If you are capable of doing such a thing, it means you are disgusting and gross and desperate. Why would you lower your standards for that? It seems off to me, right? So men are coming in the comments and they're saying shit like, well, why are you talking about Kevin Samuels and what he's saying when he isn't talking about you? And I'm saying he is talking about me if he's talking about women. He is talking about me if y'all consider me a fat woman. Like, you're looking at me and saying because I'm fat, I'm supposed to be with a man who's broke or a man who's less fortunate, or I shouldn't have anyone at all.
Actually, there is some truth to that, because you got men that flat out might not be attracted to a female, but men typically, when they in the mood, depending on where their mental, I'm gonna say where their mental's at, man, men will smash anything. But what they'll do is they'll do it on the low. They'll basically holler something, keep it like out of the 6 degrees of separation. Basically, I'm just saying, like, they'll keep that 1 or 2 on the low. And the reason why, because they know that woman's not as attractive as the other women that they be trying to holler at, but they know that woman looks at them like, oh, I got me a catch. But on the low, she's just used to be something to smash and then just dash. They smash and they dash. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. You know what I mean? So yeah, men will fuck basically shit that they not attracted to. You know what I'm saying? Like I know about that stuff. You know, I got homies back in the days that did shit like that, and they always say, yeah, when you got that 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, you got that drink in your system, you gotta have that one to call, even if she ain't the baddest. But shit, at least you can hit something. And hell yeah, you attractive. Like I'll co-sign that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you look good. You know what I mean? But obviously, when it comes to me, there has to be personality involved with it too, because you could be bad as hell. You could have all the curves in the world, this, that, and the other, pretty face, soft lips, pretty eyes, all that. But if you're a personality on stank, oh hell no, you ugly as hell to me. You know what I'm saying? Nah, but when it comes to you though, hell yeah. I mean, I'm saying that for a reason, obviously, because it's going deeper with us. You know what I'm saying? But hell yeah, shit. If I was like sleeping next to you every night, I'd be rubbing on you and all that good shit. You know what I mean?
I didn't know that you was 6'4". Women generally like that. Like for me, I've never had height as a preference, but I see why women think that men who are as tall as you are attractive. You know what I mean? Like I see why they think that. And honestly, like I told you before, I like really clean cut guys. So when I sent you that picture of yourself dressed up, like that's how I like men to look. Like I love that. I love men who can put it together nice. Of course, I don't expect you to look like that every day, like in the kitchen cooking breakfast with that on, or mowing the lawn with that on. But that's how I like to see men. You know what I mean? Like I like that. I like you like that. And I know you like to wear a lot of urban wear, but at some age you're going to have to grow out of that. You know what I mean? And start walking around with jeans and button ups on, like comfortable little button ups, because you're getting too old to wear a whole bunch of urban like gear and baggy pants and stuff like that. And the same goes for me. Like I'm starting to really just change my attire. Now granted, people always said I look like somebody auntie because I dress real conservatively, when I'm not on OnlyFans. You know what I'm saying? But I don't when I look at young girls and how they dress, I don't dress that way anymore. I remember when I used to dress that way, and I don't dress that way anymore because I'm 40. I can't really, dress that way. So yeah, I'm big on your hair being cut, your beard being cut, brush your damn teeth, what I mean? Put your cologne on, putting on a button up and some slacks or button up and some jeans and some nice shoes, I just or a suit, that's my thing. That's what's attractive to me. But there are a lot of women that think that men that dress like that aren't attractive. Like I know plenty of women like, nah, I need my man in urban wear. So I'm not gonna say to other women, just because they like men who are urban wear all the time, that that's the kind of, like attire, or that's the kind of man they shouldn't date. Men who wear too much urban wear. You know what I mean? For example, I'm not going to chastise another woman who decides that she doesn't want to date men who are light skinned or date men who aren't black. You know what I mean? We can put it in that perspective as well. Like just because I'm comfortable with dating someone light skinned or dating someone who isn't black doesn't mean I'm going to feel some type of way towards a woman who would not choose that. So to me, everyone gets to choose who they want to fall in love with, and I'm not going to encourage a whole bunch of other people to not date who they themselves are attracted to. My issue isn't these men having a preference. My issue is that they're chastising other men for having a preference that's different from theirs. So, as a man, would you look at another man who doesn't date the type of women that you date and chastise him for not dating the type of women that you date? Because, see, that's my issue with these men. It's like they're trying to say that all men are the same, all men know what they want. And I'm saying, no, men are individuals. Some men like fit women, some men like thick women. And for all the men who like fit women, it doesn't mean chastise the men who like thick women, and vice versa. So that's my thing. As a man, being as though you like a specific type of woman, would you chastise other men for choosing another type of woman that's not your preference?
Why am I chastising a man for his preference, let alone why would I be chastising anybody for their preference in general? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not my place or position. That motherfucker happy with what he doing or she doing? Hey, guess what? So be it. Why do people feel like they gotta say in something that had nothing to do with them or has nothing to do with their life in the first place? That's the shit I'll never understand. But to answer your question, nah, I'm not gonna chastise nobody because it's not my fucking business. You know what I'm saying? What they do is what they do, and if that's what they happy with, that's what they happy with. And you're right. Like, grown ass men shouldn't be, chastising other men, and women shouldn't be chastising other women because of a preference. I definitely agree with you on that. I think people just need to stay the fuck up out of other people's business, especially when it's their preference in relationships and all that shit. Like, fucking mind your own. You know what I'm saying? Like, most of the people that have opinion, to me feel like this self entitlement shit. You know what I mean? And I hate that shit because who the fuck is you in the first place? You know what I'm saying? Unless we doing business and we cutting a check together, then of course, yeah, you throwing your money into a situation, you can have an opinion on what kind of business we doing. But when it comes to personal and shit, fuck out of here. Like, seriously, like, people, especially nowadays, really feel some sort of self entitlement to have an opinion speaking on somebody's situation and tell them how they should be. And you know what? Fuck them. So let me ask you this straight up, and I'm just gonna put it out there. So, do you truly believe, based on somebody's skin texture, black, light, dark skin, or whatever, do you think that really summarizes their character, their being, or do you believe in that person's heart condition, what they got in their mind and spirit, is the real dictator of who they are? We're talking about somebody's skin tone, but what's their character like? You know what I'm saying? Like, are we really looking at just that, or are we actually looking at the actual character and their heart condition, their spirit, their mind? You know what I mean?
Even though it doesn't matter to me, when I look at everybody else, right, and I see people who are light skinned inside of the black community versus people who are dark skinned, there is a coloristic type of behavior associated with those people and their skin tone. A lot of light skinned people act a specific type of way, just like a lot of dark skinned people act a specific type of way. Now, it could be because of how they were treated, because I think that people tend to treat lighter skinned people better. So light skinned people have a bit of arrogance or smugness to them where they feel privileged. That's inside of the black community. As far as white people go, there's no light skinned and dark skinned white person. You know what I'm saying? They're just, so they don't have colorism inside of their, inside of their like culture. They have, I think, classism. So, but in Indian culture, like, I'm in California, so I'm around a whole bunch of Indians. In Indian culture, even they have colorism to where they treat the darker skinned Indians bad. And the darker skinned Indians are the same complexion as black people. Darker skinned Indians think I'm Indian until they get to talking to me or they see my hair texture. They realize I'm not Indian because we're the same complexion. From a distance, they'll look at me thinking I'm an Indian woman. So, but I've noticed they also have a classism thing that white people have. So when I'm looking at the outside world and how people are carrying themselves, light skin versus dark skin, yeah, I would say, yeah, it shows who they are as a person on the inside because their personality associated with that skin tone usually is a lighter skin tone is usually privileged. They feel like they're better than people, right? You're not black, so of course you know about white privilege. You know that if you and I walked into a certain place in a certain area of the United States, you would get more respect because of your color than I would. And that my personality would not make a damn difference whether I was kind or not. Okay? So I think this is, I want to say, subjective. If I'm using the right term to describe this, it's subjective. It depends upon whose perspective it is. You know what I mean? Like, I can see it from all angles. People tend to think that lighter skinned people are more attractive. Me and my daughter had this conversation because my daughter's light skinned. And she said to me, Mama, I've never seen an ugly light skinned person. It's very rare. I said, I know. It's something about the makeup of a light skinned person that I rarely see an ugly one. It doesn't mean that there aren't any. It's just I rarely see it. But when we see darker skinned people, there are a lot of unattractive dark skinned people, and it has nothing to do with their darker skin. It's like usually their other features. That's what her and I was talking about. So this goes back to what I said as far as um, the more attractive a person is, the more likely they are to have a nasty attitude. So light skinned people are generally more attractive, I guess, because of the features that come with being light skinned. Or it could be that we were programmed to believe that because of a European standard of beauty. To me, people with darker skin have had better personalities and have been more open to love. But from my personal experience, inside of the African American culture, lighter skinned men have been more difficult for me to deal with than darker skinned men. It doesn't mean that darker skinned men haven't cheated or haven't mistreated me. It's just I've seen the difference in their attitude. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen darker skinned men be a little bit more passionate. I like how a person treats me. I like, can they make me laugh? Can they teach me something? Are they intellectual? Can we communicate thoroughly? Can we sit and talk for hours at a time? That's what's attractive to me. And so I was made fun of for that for a very long time. And it wasn't until I got a little older that I started factoring in physical appearance and whether or not that should be something I should factor in inside of relationships. And I honestly feel like whether I factor it in or not doesn't even matter at the end of the day because of how they treat me. Like, they could be attractive as hell and still be an asshole. And from my experience, the men who looked the best out of all of the men I've ever dated have been the ones who were an asshole. They were more of an asshole, harder to deal with than the men who were least attractive. Like what you were saying earlier about women thinking they have a prize, men who are unattractive tend to look at me as if I'm a prize. Men who are extremely attractive, child, I'm having a hard time. Men who are extremely attractive tend to have more options. So they tend to be kind of careless when it comes to women, or they dispose of women, if you understand, if I explain that well. To me, that's messed up because it's like there's somebody out there for everybody. Everybody deserves to be loved, regardless to their physical condition, regardless to, whether they have money or not. There is someone out there for everyone. You just got to date on your level. And a lot of the men who are out here looking for these fit women aren't necessarily fit themselves. Most men are not in the gym or not at the healthcare store, because if they were at the health, not healthcare, but health food store, if they were there and they frequent those social circles all of the time, they would always be around fit women. They wouldn't be around fat women because fat women do not frequent the gym. Fat women do not frequent health food stores. So if they themselves as a man was fit and super duper attractive, he wouldn't have any fat women in the vicinity of him. So how are these men who are claiming they don't like fat women, they're sleeping with fat women? How are they getting access to fat women? Like, I don't get that. Like, what is that?
I'm not saying like I'm super fine, super attractive, or nothing like that. I actually just think I'm an average looking dude at the end of the day. But one thing I do know is I got a mouthpiece. I know I got a lot of different things about me that can make a woman attracted to me hella quick. But, you know, because back in the days when I was doing my club stuff, early 20s, after I went through my 2 breakups, man, you talk about the disposal phase, I was awful. Like, seriously, you know what I mean? But, you know, I'm grown now. It's like, we're talking like 24, 25 years after the fact. But I definitely know about that disposal phase, and I can admit it. I was one of them dudes back in the days. Because I was, you know, actually it was more because I was hurt out of, you know, those 2 relationships that I had. So I was just like, fuck it, I'm in this industry, you know, and I had women, you know, trying to jump on my shit because of what I was associated with and what I had access to. So I'm like, look, y'all about to use me, well, I'm gonna use your ass back. Fuck it.
I know for me, I'm not really like, to me, I've dated fat men, I've dated men who are muscular. You know, I don't know. I just feel like the best time I've had with a man was when I was connected to his personality. And at the end of the day, it didn't even matter what he looked like because we was doing something that was soul to soul. So it wasn't his physical appearance that was attracting me to him to begin with. And I feel like a lot of men are extremely shallow when it comes to women. The only time men will be soul to soul with a woman is if he can, you know, respect her vessel. You understand? Like men are visual creatures, so they have to, quote unquote, that's what y'all say. So it's more important for you guys to be with a woman that you find physically attractive than it is for you to connect with her on a spiritual level.
I'm just gonna get this out the way. Here's the reason why I like a woman like that's not super fit, and I'm gonna just be blunt. I like ass, I like titties, and if I'm putting my face between when I'm going down on a woman, cause I love to eat a woman out, like I'm gonna keep it 100. I need some shit to grab on. You know what I'm saying? Like I need shit that wobbles. I need shit that's visually appealing. I need, you know, like that. That's the kind of dude I am. I guess, you know, because like that physically fit. I mean, that's cool, but I need some shit that could be firm but could be soft at the same time. Because besides being a visual person, you know, I like to use my hands. You know what I'm saying? I like, you know, I'm very touchy feely. Sorry to be like all, you know, blunt, whatever, like that, but I just don't know any way else to say it. Like, I love thick women. I love titties. I love ass. And I love just, yeah. So, Kevin Samuels don't speak for me. He speaks for whatever's going to get him his views. That's what he speaks for. But, yeah, I got to have me some shit to play with.